what to look for in investors, who should I get into my company, who should be the one who is a long-term partner in my business. I'm sharing now something which has taken me many years and even more mistakes and hardship and not so nice stories, but also some success stories. And obviously I've also read widely and learned from other people's experiences. But this is ever evolving topic, a journey which will never end if you're doing growth companies. So I'm also happy to hear your stories. Comment on the comment section, write or ping me, and we can talk about more of this topic because I think it's important. But let's get started first with the basics. Okay, an investor gives you money. That's the very fundamental and the lowest denominator in any investor. They give you money, they give you funds, the means to do something. But not all the money is equal money. First red flag is that if the money is tied with some other side deals, they say that, well, I will invest, but can we do this or can we do that, or can you include me some ways, or even in the worst cases, I need to do something, you buy services from me. I have seen cases where an angel investor comes in and says, this is X amount of money I'm going to give you, and then I'm in practice. They don't say it probably exactly in these terms, but they say that, okay, you're going to buy services from me, and suddenly and surprisingly the amount is close to the total amount you're getting. Maybe there's a bit of a time delay, but basically the concept is that they will get the money back in revenues from you, and they still have the stake in the company. Sometimes it's some other favor, something else. And this leads to ethics. How does it feel? How does it sound? How is the investor? Do a bit of DD, due diligence on the person. How is their background? What type of people they working with? Whom they are associated with? Because when the times are good, everybody's more or less happy. But when it gets tough, then the true colors will come out. And this is what you want to find out beforehand. So you know what to expect, how to handle. Are they working with you or against you, or are they actually coasting you? Are they leaving you in trouble, or are they working towards a solution and contributing to building the company in a long term? So it's important that the ethics part is working. So your values, missions, objectives, expectations are aligned. And also the time perspective, that they expect the exit, whatever that is, to be in pretty much in the same terms as you see the world. Because otherwise you may run into trouble a bit later on, because they have some other expectations and needs, and that may not work for you. So I would be really concerned with the ethics part, understanding, taking the time to think about and understand the person, have a long discussions, how they do things. And while you're having those discussions, please listen, observe. Let the investor do the talking. Let their deeds do the talking. Let them show by actions they have already taken what type of investor they are. And then ask from those companies, those founders they've been working before, how they feel about the investor. And in even a better cases where the end outcome of the company, the venture, was not a successful one, and if the entrepreneur is still embracing and they are still good buddies with the investor, I think that's a really good sign that that's someone you want to be working with. So this is now approaching more to the competence side First, there was this mission, ethics, values, which I think is the most important thing. And you have to think about also what are the limits that you want to stop. You don't want to cross the threshold going to the other side. And now the technical aspects of your investor. Do they understand what you're doing? Are they in the industry? Do they have the domain, the business understanding of the area you're working with? And that's quite easy to get some kind of a quick rule of thumb measurement by just talking with them. Are they contributing to the discussion? Are they thinking creatively? Can they actually help you to do something in the future? Are they helping you to solve your issues? Can they actually give you feedback, ideas, something which you think is valuable, which is showing that they really know what they're talking about and they really understand what you're doing? If not, that's a sign as well. Don't expect that to change in the future. What is their background? Are they coming from similar type of industries? Maybe not exactly the same, but they know the dynamics of software business, for example. They understand hardware business. They've been there. They understand the distribution, revenue, business models, industry cycles, and all these fine details which really matter. Because the journey is never A to B straight line. It's curved, warped, mixed, twisted, weird, spaghetti type of a journey where things don't go as planned. There's another proxy to get this domain understanding from another aspect. It could also tell something about the investor or their approach if they are institutional investor. And this is, are they treating you as a financial investment? Are they looking at the numbers? Are they thinking you as a risk or portfolio allocation? There's nothing wrong about thinking about the revenues, the profits, and the risks. That's what you need to do when you do an investment. But if they don't want to understand the business model, the business aspect of your company, what are you doing, building, and they cannot contribute that. They just more focus on the numbers. Okay, what are your revenues next year? How are you going to grow them? What is your margin? And if this is more the type of discussion, then I think it's an indicator that they don't either have the knowledge, the will, or they are just they have some other motivations why they just focus on in the financial aspects. And this is also usually not a good sign unless you really are looking for that type of investor. Because when the going gets tough, and it will, they tend to be more rigid. They stick to the proceedings, rules, and allocations and risks because that's what they understand. Those are the tangible things, the numbers, and it's more comfortable to stick with those. And then it's more easier to say that, well, I understand that you're in a tough position, but we only have an allocation for this, or we don't want to go because of this or that, or whatever. So they're not flexible. They don't properly understand that, it's over and beyond your control if something like Corona happens or whatever the industry dynamics, and you need something from them, or you need help from them, or you need them to change something in order to get other investors to join to the journey. So that they need to maybe give up a bit of something you already given to them beforehand. And when you have someone who actually really understands the business, it's easier to deal with these type of situations because they look to the long term. They understand the long-term benefits and where the actual money is. It's when you have a successful company and it's not just hitting the next whatever weeks or months milestones rigidly. Then there's a investor journey as well. And this is how experienced are they as investors? Is the person just starting as an angel investor and you're the first investment? Is it actually a person who just have a bit of money and just wants to try something and is not actually an angel, is not familiar with the growth companies, startups, and really don't understand or know what to expect. And they just love the idea, or they know you personally and they want to help you. Or it's a new VC fund, first time VC partners. And they don't have the experience and depth what somebody else who's been doing the full cycle has been having before. So when you're coming to the situations where you need to do something, and often you need to ask something from your investors if they really are your partners, then you come to realize that they are persons as well. They have their fears, insecurities, ego issues, ignorance, power plays, all those things. Hopefully not in the same person. And if you have a bunch of investors in, it may only take one to spoil. Not spoil, but, well, is it spoil? I don't mean it in a positive way. To actually ruin, that's the better word I'm probably looking for, ruin the atmosphere, the cooperation, the team spirit, what you need to get somewhere. It's not uncommon that one investor, or sometimes even a few of the investors, use the whatever hardship as and take the company, take other investors as hostages, using it as a leverage for them to get a better bargain, renegotiate whatever is in the table, or they want to gain something more than what feels like the right thing to do. And I can assure you, if you're working with someone who does that, when you are in a tough position, you will never forget that. And that's why I'm saying that if you ask from those founders who have been working with some investors and they've been going through a tough path, and if you manage to open them up, you will get really valuable information. How are the true colors of the investors in tough spots? You may positively surprise if they're really pro and they understand what they're doing and the name of the game with risk investments, venture investments, high-tech startup investments. So they accept that it doesn't always go the right way. And that's acceptable because that's the name of the game. Only a few will succeed. And they will take it that way with the big boy pants on, big girl pants on. It makes it more tolerable, even though the failure may be the end result. But if somebody takes advantage of you and then you succeed, you will never forget. And you don't want to have that experience. This is why I'm making this video. You want to avoid those things. And you can avoid these type of hardship only by selecting the right partners, doing the choices, the preparation, the due diligence, the work beforehand. Because when you have somebody in, it's harder to get rid of them. It's costly to buy out investors. And sometimes there can be lockups in situations, or it just becomes so hard or tiresome or stressful to cope with investors who are just looking their own self-interest at the cost of everyone else involved. And this is something which happens. So keep that in mind. It's not that people are ill-intended. It's just that everybody have their own journey, and we are learning along we go. And in order that you are not the one who is helping them to become better, it's good to pick your battles, find the right type of investors, and do business with the people which is enjoyable, because it's about journey. The end results may come as they come and when they come, but it's not up to you entirely. Leave your comments. What do you think? Is there some aspects you would like to know more? Let me know. Till next time.